Shout out to Kop-Ish.
Shout out to Kopish, guys.
Keep all the good work
the
up.
two legends, Emil Heskey, Howard Gill. Can't get much better than that guy. Yeah. You know what to do now. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm with legends, guys.
Kop-Ish.
Yes, people, what is going on? It's Friday evening. We're back for a big preview for a big game at the weekend. And so I'm actually back again today. I saw you guys earlier. Big up everyone who joined in earlier. But yeah, we're here. It's a debut on the channel, and someone we've been wanting to get on the channel for ages. So we're happy it's finally here. We finally got Dan Potts in the building. What's going on, bro?
Listen, man, pleasure's mine. Honestly, love what you guys do. Love the pair of you. And to be honest, it's nice to be on and chat to some sensible people about football, man. So yeah, let's. I'm looking forward to the game, but I can't lie, it's one of those I'm always nervous about. So yeah, man, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no, likewise, bro. I think this will be a very sensible conversation. There'll be no unnecessary shade. There'll be no. There'll be none of, you know what I mean? There'll be none of that. Well, let's have a football.
You're the wrong person on, man, if you wanted that. Do you know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean?
Needed to go shout some of the other guys up.
Cal, how you doing, brother?
Yeah, not too bad, man. Not too bad. I just want to echo Dan, man. One of the real ones in the game, Dan. So happy to have you on and thanks for making time, bro, man. Appreciate you, man.
So I'm going to host today. I will be the neutral one. It will be obviously Cal versus Dan in terms of representing their teams. And I just want to kick off by asking, I'll start with Dan. Obviously, they are the home team and he is the guest. Is form important going into this game? You're a little way behind us in the league, 4 or 5 points. But obviously, you're still right in the title race. A lot of people ask me what I would give it on a percentage. I said earlier on when I was on Troops' channel, I think at the moment, you're 70%. I think you beat us, you jump up to 80. If you lose, you probably drop to about 30. That's my opinion in terms of your percentage of winning the league. So is form important, bro, going into this game? Like, I know you've got 2 wins, so you are technically in form, but you had the misfortune of the few defeats before that. We've had a pretty brilliant January. I don't think we've dropped any points or lost a game in January. No, we haven't, have we, Cal? We literally won every game, right?
But the only game we drew was the Fulham game in the Carabao.
Yes, yeah. And then still went through. So yeah, is form important, Dan?
Yes, mate, it is. I don't see this as any form of derby. So form doesn't really go out the window for me. You know, like when you play like North London derby, you could have won 6 and Spurs could have lost 6, but you just know it's a North London derby. I think sometimes Liverpool and Everton's like that, actually. I look at the games and I think, why are Liverpool not battering this poor team? And it's because it's a derby and it goes out the window. But I just don't think it's like that with this game. I've never really seen any massive rivalry between Liverpool and Arsenal. I think sometimes fans have tried to hype it to be this rivalry, but if I'm honest, I don't know if you'll feel the same, but if Man City, if Arsenal don't win the league this season, I'd rather you win it than Man City again, personally, because I can't stand that arrogant fan base. But I think, like, in terms of the rivalry thing, maybe in the 80s with the 89 situation, it got a little bit close at one stage. But in my lifetime, you know, we've either been at the opposite scale of things. So we've been competing with Fergie while you were trying to scrape top 4, and we were trying to scrape top 4 when you were competing with Pep. So it's never really been like Klopp and Arteta going at it in terms of a league title. They've gone at it on the sideline once, but it was kind of handbags, wasn't it? That was it. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of as far as it's got. So going into this game, I think Liverpool are definitely the informed team, and they're the ones with the confidence at the moment. And where I've respected Liverpool so much this season is they've actually gone for everything, whereas we've decided to dump ourselves out of competitions yet again. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think where Liverpool are concerned right now, the news of Klopp, I think, will just kickstart them now. And I think they will just literally rally the troops and you'll go for everything, which is basically what, in my opinion, massive clubs should be doing. So, yeah, form don't go out the window for me. It definitely counts as much with this one. And I think, and I hope that we've learned a lot from playing each other already twice this season, once at Anfield and once here. Different circumstances, obviously, at Anfield, but also different circumstances in the FA Cup. It doesn't quite have the same feel as the league. But, yeah, I don't think form can be looked at and thrown out the window here. I think Liverpool are a difficult team to beat this season. I have a lot of respect for what they've done because not a lot of people put them up there, to be honest.
Yeah, no, it's true. It is true. I mean, I think we're even surprising ourselves, to be honest with you. Cal, same question to you, bro. We are in better form, but do you think it matters going into the game?
So weirdly enough, I agree with everything Dan said. Apart from this, though, I think if Liverpool were in bad form, then I would almost go and say like we're gonna lose here. I think the home team, when it comes to these games, I think the form matters less, and I think I've believed that because of our game last season at Anfield. Going into that game, Arsenal were in excellent form. We were in terrible form, and the first 20 minutes of that game, it looked like it was going to be a battering. It looked like it was going to be a cricket score. And Xhaka had the issue with Trent. Crowd got galvanized, and boom, ended up 2-2. If we were playing at home, then I'd be like, nah, form doesn't really matter. Because we're playing away, going into it with good form, I think will really help us. I don't think form necessarily matters as much for Arsenal with them being the home team, because I think the crowd will get behind the team. The players will naturally be up for the game, especially with it being a potential title deciding game as well. So for me, I think form matters for us, but not for Arsenal.
Yeah, and I mean that gets to why I asked the question to you guys, because normally when Liverpool play Arsenal, only one team is trying to win something, and it's the other team in the mood to spoil the party. It usually was us in the race, and last season it was Arsenal that was in the race, and is the other team gonna, be up for it when they don't really have much to play for, which was pretty much the case all the times around. This is one of the only times I can think of in recent history. I think the last time we were both in a title race and we played each other, you got to go all the way back to the Anfield game 13-14 season. Arsenal were top of the league, 5 points ahead of us, and we won that game 5-1, and then that was what gave us the momentum. And then we went on, and we all know what happened. But I think it was that Anfield game. I think, do you remember, Dan? You lot of 5 points ahead of us in the league.
Unfortunately,
mate,
I went to Anfield a few times where we had to hold 4s and 5s, bro. I've had enough of going there. I remember the Sterling and Sturridge and Suarez season, wasn't it? That season.
Yeah.
Crazy season, man. But I think the other thing to say as well is about us at the moment is because this is such a must-win game for us, in my opinion. I'm not so sure it's a must-win game for Liverpool. I think that would be real key as well. Because Liverpool ain't going to sit there and go, well, we don't really need to win this. That's not what my point is. My point is that Arsenal actually do need to turn up. So are we going to? Because I've not really seen us turn up this season at big challenges. I've seen us go to Anfield already and not be able to take 3 points. We've gone to Villa Park, lost. St James Park, lost. We lost the games at Fulham as well. We've gone to stages in the season where we've gone to an FA Cup game. What's that going to do? We lost. Carabao Cup, lost. So I'm like, come on, man. The only one we've really got through this season is Man City at home. We couldn't win the North London derby at the Emirates. There's been a lot of fails so far already for us, and we're only in February. So we cannot afford to go into this one and come away yet again failing. And I really feel like you could put a nail in the coffin if you beat us in terms of Arsenal for the title. I really do think that, man. So it's massively important. But I think what you're saying is key, actually, Drift. I think when you look at the situation, it has been a long time since this has actually been a title decider. I know it's not a decider, but you get me. It's like Arsenal, both teams in the title race potentially. This is massive.
Yeah, it is, man. I mean, Cal, obviously what you said about the home advantage, I'm guessing that's the line you were thinking. The worst thing is that we have to go away, because normally what's cool about when we're in those title races is that we've already been to the Emirates in the first half of the season. I don't know if you've realized, it always seemed to be Anfield. Thankfully, that was the second half of the season. So it helped us with our momentum. This is the first time where we've got to go away for the second half of the season to the Emirates, which kind of is what I don't like. Like, I really wish it was the other way around, and the first draw would have been at theirs, and now they were coming to Anfield.
Yeah, that would have been an ideal thing. Again, going into this game, I don't have that reservation of it being at Emirates. I think it could actually play into our hands, though, because as Dan was saying, Arsenal have to turn up and get the win. Now, obviously, as a Liverpool fan, especially going into title races with Man City, every single win is vital. Every point dropped is detrimental potentially.
Yeah.
But the fact that Arsenal have to come out and they know they have to get a win could mean that they actually are on the front foot. And whenever we play teams on the front foot or footballing teams, we usually do quite well, especially with the pace we've got in behind and the fact that they like to play a high line. Again, Saliba's got stupid pace as well, so that will always be a difficult one to deal with. But I think it could actually play into our hands that this game's away from home as opposed to being at home. Because I think if it was at home, I think Arsenal would come into it and say, you know what, let's get a draw and then see if Liverpool drop points later down the season. If we nick a win, it's a perfect situation. I think Arteta, Arsenal, the fans, they know they need to go into this, and they know they need to show that character that they showed against Man City. That was okay. Yeah, we flopped last season, but we're about it this season. You're coming to our place now. We're gonna do what we've got to do.
Okay. I mean, Dan, do you think there's any chance that Arteta would be thinking along the lines of, we need the win, we're at home, so we have to get the 3 points in that regard, but not losing ground on Liverpool is almost as important as a win? And do you think there'd be any part of his setup where it might not be all out? It might be a draw ain't the worst thing in the world because losing is, kind of thing.
Brother, we haven't been all out all season. We've been pretty unconvincing when it comes to attacking football. I mean, in terms of the chances we created against you in the FA Cup, we should have been 2-3-0 up within 25, 30 minutes, and we weren't because we fluffed our lines, and we can't do that. You know, even against Forest, you know, brilliant move, Gabriel Jesus hits the post. Can't do that against Liverpool, man. So in terms of free-flowing football, I haven't really seen it other than in the Champions League against Lens and Seville and PSV. This season in the league, we've been this controlled possession-based football, which I think is a load of bollocks, if I'm honest with you. I don't know why we changed all this. Like, for me, last season, we were so good to watch and everybody was frightened to play us. And now they're thinking, just go low block and you got a chance, because they ain't going to be able to break you down and create much and score much against it. So, yeah, I'll put a lot on the manager this season. And to be fair, a lot of people think I've got to, want him out and I've got agenda. That ain't really the case for me. If he's going to, I just want him to win a trophy. And I don't think that's too much to ask, man. I thought the game was about winning, but apparently it's about processes and phases and shit now. So it's mad. So I just don't understand why we changed the style of play. So to answer the question about, do you think we might go a little bit more? Yeah, I think we will go, because at the moment, that's all we're playing. I don't think we're going to go gung-ho. I don't think it's going to be this football that we see where we're going to go attacking, because we haven't played that all season. Now, there's glimpses of it. It's definitely there. And I think if we do have opportunities to get in behind Liverpool, which I think you can do, you've got to take your chances. You can't do what we did in the last game, which was fluff them. But at the same time, I know that we're apparently harder to beat now. But if you look at statistically, we've actually conceded more goals than last season and we scored less. So I don't see how this is a better Arsenal, personally. I don't know what you two think, but I would think you're probably more scared to play us last year at home than you are now here this season. But that's just me. Maybe you're not. Maybe you think it's harder to break us down. But personally, I feel like it will be quite a... I don't see this being a 5-4 or a 4-3, guys, if I'm honest with you. So, I think there'll be goals, but I don't think it'll be absolute crazy scenes. But listen, Liverpool, for me, this season have, I think, surprised for a couple of reasons. I thought you were a number 6 and a centre-half away from winning the title. And I honestly believe that if you would have got a Paulinho and, let's say, I don't know, Joachim Anderson or a decent centre-half, you pick one, whoever you want, I honestly think you would win the title. And I still stand by that, because you've got goals. But actually, what's actually impressed me even more is that defensively you've been good. In midfield, you haven't really been able to prove that you are desperate for a number 6. You've made do without it. I think Endo's actually done all right, to be fair to. I know he's out at the moment. McAllister likewise. I think Konate's improved immensely, in my opinion. I've always kind of thought he was half decent, but I've really been impressed this year. And Van Dijk's back to his best. Trent Alexander-Arnold's probably been the best player in this Premier League season. If I'm honest, I think people talk about players this season or signings this season. I think Trent's been the best player in the Premier League for me anyway so far this season. So Liverpool are going to be tough, man. In every single department, we've got to try and get past that puzzle and past that challenge. You've got a world-class goalkeeper, defensively solid. I think midfield, we can dominate you, which I'll come back to in a minute. But your front three is going to score goals, man. And where we kind of are down is the front three isn't scoring goals at the moment. So that's where we kind of repel against each other, really, for as far as Arsenal are concerned. You can score goals. We struggle to at the moment. But in midfield, I feel like there can be ways to be got at you, and I just pray and hope that he gets the midfield right, because I've seen some crazy things from this manager so far with the midfield. So that's what I'm kind of getting at. But man, I feel like that's where I'm at with Liverpool right now.
Cal,
can I just start off? Sorry, Dan, I've got this top here. I know you're wearing an Arsenal top right now, but you just eloquently just said everything that needed to be said. If you ever want one of these, bro, you just let me know. I'll get one for you.
I wonder what the shirt was going to be, you know. Sometimes you got to say how it is, isn't it?
Everything you just said there is what I've hoped rival fans would say. And look, I'm here for the banter and all that. Everyone knows I love good banter and all that. But when we come down to football conversations, I can put that aside and I can criticize a team or I can big up a team. Everything you just said there is what I've just asked from rivals this season. And I'll be the first to say, bro, I didn't expect us to be in a title race this season. I thought it'd just be you and Man City. But we're here now, and I still feel teams are disrespecting us, or fan base, should I say. Dan, I appreciate that, bro. I really do.
You'll get that though, bro. You will get that. And unfortunately,
I appreciate it.
This happens with us as well. People don't like Arsenal, hate on Arsenal, I get it. But to be honest with you, I think sometimes you have to hold your hands up and say you got it wrong. And I honestly believed, like you, that it would be us that would get closer, because I thought you ain't got no excuses. We've spent 200 odd million. We bought Declan Rice, and it's a title race now. You've had 4 years. You've had 600 million. Time to deliver, Mikel. With where Liverpool I felt fell short was I thought Van Dijk was done, if I'm honest. After his performances in the last 18 months, I thought, oh, nah, this guy's done. The last few months, he's been outstanding again. And there's been this number 6 myth that Liverpool need to have one now. And I still think you do, by the way. I still think one would be great to come in. But your midfield has been, people say to me, Arsenal have revamped their midfield. So have Liverpool, man. Liverpool have gutted their midfield. And look how better it looks. In my opinion, anyway. I love Declan Rice, by the way. I think he's an outstanding player, right? But we've still got problems without him, without Partey. We've still not got a left 8. We've still not replaced Xhaka. Liverpool have actually gone and replaced the Hendersons, the Thiagos, who's still at your club, but hardly plays. Obviously, Milner's gone out of there now. Fabinho's gone out of there. And I've been impressed with all of them, man. Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, Curtis Jones, I think, has been massively improved this year. So, yeah, man, it's just you just got to say how it is, isn't it, sometimes?
Daniel. You said Dan just said a name there, Calvin. Just between you and me for a half a second. Have you seen the Thiago training clips that are going around?
Yeah, I know, man.
Yeah, I got a tingle in a special place.
Shall I tell you what it is? I'll tell you what it is. Yeah?
That's my guy, Dad. Like, nothing's gonna make me happy.
He's unreal,
Thiago. Oh my!
I'll tell you what it is. Thiago's that girl that when you're around the boys, you act bad and you're like, nah, of course I don't speak to her. What, her? I don't speak to her no more. Yeah, of course she's buff, but yeah, man, just dealt with that, innit? And as soon as you get home, you're just like, oh, hey, baby, you up? Yeah, you have a phone call quick. Like, he's like, how many times I've been on here and I'm like, I love Thiago, but he's got to go. And I saw that training video, bro, and I'm thinking, do I start up a little GoFundMe for his new contract?
Bro,
all he's done is training.
This is what I'm saying, bro.
But I need to see him play. I need to
big up Dean. Big up Dean. Dean sent me the clip, and then underneath he said, "Nah, fuck it, Drift. I've seen enough. Give him a new Ross Clark contract." It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's ridiculous, man.
But you know what? Klopp, Trent, Bradley. Dan was talking about, obviously, Trent is crazy because me and Dan are on the same wavelength. People did look at me a bit sideways. Remember, I said, I actually think Trent's been the best player this season. Taking the bias out of it, I do think he's been the best player this season. He's back, but he's not fully fit. So the dilemma now, Cal, does Klopp keep Bradley in, who's just got 4 man of the matches in a row?
3.
5 is... No, it's 5, is it not? Including the cup games.
No, he's 3 man in the matches. I don't think he's got 4 in a row. Are
you sure?
Yeah.
I'm sure. Well, anyway, I'm sure somebody said that earlier. I was just, maybe I should have paid attention more. But I'm sure I heard someone say that. Regardless of what it is, he's coming into it with brilliant form. Is it 5 goals? Oh no, maybe I'm thinking of the goals. Sorry, 5 assists, isn't it? 5 assists, 1 goal. Maybe I'm thinking of the assists more than a man. Yeah, he's got 5 assists, 1 goal. Man of the match after man of the match performances. What do we do, bro? Do we play Bradley or do we bring Trent back in?
So I always say this, apart from goalkeeper, if a player's in form, I think they deserve to stay in the team. And Trent, again, everyone knows Trent is phenomenal, but especially in this game where I think you need to be switched on from minute 1, especially against a player like Martinelli. Trossard might even play. I think Trossard could be in with a shout at starting this game, left wing potentially, because he has good form against Liverpool when he plays. And plus Gomez staying out at left back. I don't want to preempt your questions, but even Gomez staying out at left back now that Robertson's back, I do think Bradley deserves to continue starting this game. And look, it gives us options because it means Trent can come on and play at right back. He can come on and play midfield. At a push, he could come on and play a right-sided attack if we really have to. I just think Bradley's done so much, and I think it sends a message to the rest of the team and the squad and the youth players that if you can come in, you can have good form, no matter who was the name on the team sheet before you arrived, you'll stay in the team on merit. And I think that breeds good competition because, again, we've been sitting there for years saying Trent ain't got no competition at right back. Right now, we're sitting there going, Trent might not be a right back anymore. He might have to move into midfield because we've got Gomez and Bradley who could play there. For me, that's a beautiful headache for the manager to have.
Yeah, 100%. And obviously we have Robbo back now as well, which means that we have some options now on the other side. So let me just hit these two supers before we get into lineups. Big up Bazaar as always. Says big up family. Win on the weekend. He's going with a 3-1 to Liverpool. Obviously, we'll get into the score predictions at the end. And big up brother Hakeem gifting another 5 memberships. Appreciate that, bro. Big up, man. Big up. Right. Lineups. Start with a home team. Dan. Actually, let's go goalie defense, midfield. So let's go back and forth. So let's start goalie and back forward then. Arsenal. What do you think it'll be, bro?
Yeah, man, I think this one's set in stone, to be fair. I don't even want to go down the Raya Ramsdale debate again. I'm kind of bored of it, if I'm honest. It looks like Raya's number 1, man. So everyone just needs to move on and forget about Ramsdale now. So Raya will be number 1.
He's played better, to be fair to him, Raya. He's played a lot better in the last few weeks.
Yeah, he's improved, man. It didn't look good, did it, to start with? But yeah, he's improved, man. And yeah, he's. I think personally, a lot of the pressure and a lot of the hype and the drama was getting to his head as well, because I actually feel a bit sorry for Raya. He's come in and everyone's screaming for Ramsdale to get a shirt, and he's like, "Hang on, man, I'm a new signing here. Like, I'm actually being given a chance, and none of the fan base want me in the goal." And I felt a bit sorry for him in that respect. So yeah, Arteta again, a massive mess that he caused himself. Anyway, he's going to play in goal, and then a back 4 will be Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel, and Zinchenko. Unfortunately, not that I don't like him, but I just think defensively is a shambles at times, man. So that'll be that back 5, mate. Yeah.
Cal, what do you think our back 5 will be, bro?
So I think Alisson's definitely in goal. I'm gonna stick with Bradley. In fact, no, I actually think Klopp's gonna start Trent. So yeah, I'm gonna go with what I think Klopp's gonna do. I think he's gonna start Trent right back, Ibu and Virgil, and then Gomez left back.
Is there an argument to say that it would make a lot of sense for him to do that with regards to you go on the front foot to try and get in the lead, and then Bradley's a perfect guy to bring on if you're trying to see the game out?
Yeah, no, bro. If Trent starts, like, who am I to question the manager on it? Like, it's Trent in it. But I just, again, from a merit standpoint, and just because Trent has so many weapons in his artillery, I just think he may be the better player to bring off the bench. Because again, let's say, for example, the game's 2-0 at like 75 minutes. You can bring Trent off the bench. You can leave Bradley right back and go, you know what, Trent, sit in midfield next to McAllister and just control it. Just
try and get us back in the game. Yeah.
No, I'm talking about if it's 2-0 to us, sorry. If it's 2-0 okay. They just control the game. Flip side, if we're 2-0 down, you can go, Trent, get on there and start creating some stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas if he starts and we're down, then I don't think you've got anything else you can really do. Plus, because he's come back from injury as well. It's a lot to play against Martinelli and come back from injury, in my opinion. Even though Martinelli
Yeah. I mean, would you also, you got to kind of protect Bradley as well a little bit to a degree. A young player just getting rinsed isn't the best idea either, is it? If you think about it.
Very true. Again, I'm probably not probably. I'm being a bit of a hypocrite here because what you just said is what I usually say. Sometimes being fearless can work in your advantage, though, and I think Bradley is extremely fearless at the moment. And Martinelli's had some very good games against Trent, where Trent could be sitting there going, thinking, "Damn, like I'm playing Martinelli tomorrow." Bradley's never played against, or he played against him in a short period of time in the FA Cup. Could be sitting there going, okay, cool. I just played against Sterling, had a good game and scored a goal. Martinelli, yeah, I know he's good, but yeah, let's go for it. And it could be one of those. Or on the flip side, it could be Bradley plays, thinks, yeah, I could be fearless, and Martinelli rips him to absolute shreds. So it could go either way. I'm praying to God it doesn't go the second way, but it could easily go that way because Martinelli on his day is absolutely class. So
no, it's true. And that's why I'm hoping Szoboszlai's playing as well, but we'll get to that. So down into the midfield. Dilemmas.
Yeah,
Is Havertz
man.
playing? Is Vieira playing? Is Emil Smith-Rowe playing? Talk to me, bro. What's the midfield looking like for you, do you think?
So it's mad because it might shock people, but I'll tell you what I would do, and I'll tell you what I think Arteta would do. I said earlier that I feel we'd need to try and dominate the midfield, and I think the only way that we can do that is to try and allow Declan Rice to be the main guy. And normally he is the main guy in the number 6 role, but may call me crazy, but I feel like we need to get a little bit controlled in there somehow. And I honestly believe the Thomas Partey injury has killed that.
Yeah,
so what I would do, he's
he's
injured again, man. I mean, it's
injured again.
I don't know
That's
why
crazy.
I don't know why.
Even Naby Keita got to play today. You know what I mean?
It's mad, bro.
Shout out Naby.
Yeah, I don't know why it's news anymore, man. It's like, oh yeah, Partey's injured again. Oh, cool. What are you doing tomorrow? Who cares? Like, we know it's like Thiago, isn't it? It's exactly the same thing. Yeah, it's crazy, man. But I think I'm not a huge fan of this player, but I think I would probably play him in this fixture because it worked for us when we played City. I'd probably play Jorginho in the 6 and then Rice in the 8, and then I'd have Martin Odegaard in the 10. That's what I would do to try and get a little bit of control back in midfield. We won't do that. We'll play Rice in the 6 and Martin Odegaard, and we'll probably play the German giraffe, if I'm honest. I don't know why he seems to love this guy, man. I don't get it at all. This guy is not a number 8. I mean, he's not a footballer, really, but we're trying to make him, turn him into one. I mean, Smith-Rowe
maybe then.
All right, but
for the height, maybe. Like, you're really good at set pieces defensively and offensively at the moment. And Havertz, credit to him, he is good at offensive and especially defensive set pieces. Would that not be what he would consider? Because we've got a lot of height. Szoboszlai is good in the air, Konate, Virgil, the delivery from Trent. You know, we do have a lot of height. You know, I mean, Jota is an absolute beast in the air. So would he not maybe think about Havertz is good from that point of view?
Yeah, potentially he will, but that kind of backs up what I want to do even more with Kai Havertz now, which is I'm not comparing the two players because I think he was very underrated when we had him, Olivier Giroud. But I want to turn him into a little bit of that type, different dimension centre forward now, where you just fling him on for the last 25 and try and cause havoc. A little bit like Darwin Núñez does, I suppose. Just cause absolute chaos, cause havoc, make something happen and create something. And to be fair to Havertz, when he has done the little of good that he has done in an Arsenal shirt, it's always been in the final third. It's never been from midfield. It's always been getting in the last minute header against Brentford. It's always been going through 1-on-1 and scoring against Brighton, scoring against Luton. It's never been creating that tackle and flinging that pass through to Jesus or dribbling past 4 men from midfield and flicking it to Saka to score. It's never been any of that. He doesn't do any of that stuff. Like, to me, I don't know why this guy is hyped up, man. I don't get it. I didn't want him. He had 3 years at Chelsea where he's poor. But I feel like they're going to play him. I feel like Arteta will play him. And I think it's a mistake because I feel like Jorginho, as much as he does get slated and he's definitely got his faults, I feel like the only way we have any chance of trying to dominate you is to allow Declan Rice to do his thing. And I think he's great as a 6 and I think he's class as a 6. But as an 8, I've been so impressed. And when he was playing against Man City as that 8 and we had Jorginho there, they struggled. Now, I know they didn't have Rodri on that day, but it was really evident to see how much control we had in the midfield. And I would love to see that again on Sunday. But that's where I'm at with the midfield. I think it will be Kai Havertz that comes in with Odegaard and Rice. But as I say, if I had to pick my midfield, it would be Jorginho, Rice and Odegaard. Smith-Rowe got the nod against Forest, but I think Havertz might come back in against Liverpool, man.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it, Cal? Because I think Jorginho's probably one of the players we wouldn't want to see, surprisingly. Like, it's weird, isn't it? Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, everybody kind of clowns on him a bit and Chelsea reject and that stuff. But for them one-off games, he is the guy that actually does come in and do a job. So I almost don't want him to play because I know they're going to be more structured. They'll be passing through the midfield a bit better. It's weird, isn't it? Because you wouldn't think anybody would be more afraid of Jorginho, but it kind of is with us, isn't it?
We were just on another preview on Big Six Bants, and I said this to Troops as well. I was like, with Partey being out, I'm surprised Arteta hasn't gone with 4-2-3-1 because Odegaard played his best football last season in the number 10 position. So I don't get the whole notion of moving him around. If you've got Declan Rice and Jorginho doing a double pivot, one, it's less strain on Jorginho, so he can focus on doing the commanding role and conductor role like he did at Chelsea when he had Kante next to him. It also gives Rice that freedom to go forward when he wants to, because look, Rice is good at dribbling, he's good at driving the ball, he's got a good shot, and he's got a good eye for a pass. It's just weird how Arsenal are setting up right now. It is. And I'll be honest, if I see Jorginho start, I'll be very worried, because I will sit there and I'll go, that means Declan's got the freedom to get in and around our midfield. If I'm seeing Declan in the 6, there's only so much you can do, because if he vacates his space too much and we pop the ball around, we're in on their defense, and that's the last thing Arteta will want. So it'll be interesting to see how they set up in midfield, but I'm hoping I don't see Jorginho, and I'm hoping I do see Havertz.
Yeah, I mean, Emil Smith-Rowe, I think Emil Smith-Rowe is the one who's kind of more suited to that 8, though, in terms of his ability.
What's
He's
happened
good on the ball.
It's weird.
He's super talented. I've said it from before the injuries.
It's weird.
Super talented player. He's the one who can do the flicks around the corner, the little pops, the given goals, the 1-2s.
100%.
He's the one who can cause problems. Do you know what I mean? So I'd even rather he wasn't playing. Do you get what I mean? I want to see Vieira or Havertz. That's what I want to see. I want to see either of those, and I'll be like, oh yeah, cool. If I see, Smith-Rowe or Jorginho, I'll be like, yeah, this is going to be a tough battle in the midfield. But who would you play in our midfield, Cal?
Mac and Jones definitely have to start. I think it has to be Szoboszlai. I don't think Gravenberch has grabbed his opportunity by the scruff of the neck. I think starting Elliott in this game would be a risk. Thiago's not ready yet. Obviously, Bišćetic isn't about. Endo's not about. I think that's the midfield 3. I think it almost has to be. And I think Szoboszlai's strength and power in that midfield could go a long way to helping, especially if Declan does play in the 8 position.
Yeah, and we missed him in the FA Cup game. You could tell that our midfield was a little bit... I mean, we've gotten more used to it in the last few weeks. I think that was the first game he missed from his injury.
I didn't watch the FA Cup, remember? I wasn't able to watch
that. Yeah, you didn't. Yeah, I'm sure people would remind me if I'm wrong. I think that might have been Szoboszlai's first game that he missed when he got his injury. And yeah, you could tell we kind of missed that, just relentless chasing down and running in the midfield. Because I don't even think Endo didn't play that game either, did he? I think someone reminded me that it was the league game Endo played, but then it was McAllister for the FA Cup game. So we were missing a bit of grit and steel with Endo and Szoboszlai both not playing.
Yeah. So anyone asking in the comments why not Trent in midfield? I want Trent to be in midfield. I just don't think Klopp will do it. Not in this game either. I think it'll be Szoboszlai.
So front 3. I mean, yours pretty much picks itself, Dan. So does ours, I guess, without Mo to a degree. But is there any surprises do you think will be in the front 3?
Nah, not for me, mate. I thought we might have changed it up a bit against Forest, because we dropped Martinelli out against Palace and he came on and scored 2 goals, which then warranted his start. And I really felt like what we might have done was play Trossard in that false 9 and move Gabby Jesus to the right, because he's been pretty good over there in certain games. And some of the times that he's played centre forward, he's gone down there as well. And we bring on Saka because his form just hasn't really been there. And I understand that he scores and he assists still. And I get that. He's got 10, I think, in each. But I think in all competitions, he's looking pretty good. You look at Saka and think, that's a really respectable season. But if you look at him, he's just not the same kid. And I don't know if that's down to style, form, or a little bit of both. And I'd like to see him come on one of the games and try and impact the game from the substitutes bench, a little bit like Martinelli did. And I think it gave Martinelli a little bit of a kick up the backside. And I sort of thought, look, I've put the ball... He's a great finisher, Martinelli. I think he's one of the best finishers at the club. I really do. In front of goal, he's just a killer. But he ain't been on great form either. And it's kind of given him a bit of a kick up the arse, maybe. It just doesn't want to do the same thing with Saka, man. He doesn't want to take the kid off. He doesn't want to drop him. He doesn't want to give him an impact in any of the games. Doesn't want to give him a rest in Carabao Cup games. We see him coming on with a 3-0 down to West Ham. it was just embarrassing, man. It really is. So, yeah, nothing's going to change. It's going to be Martinelli, Jesus, and Saka for me.
Just quickly on that whole Saka situation, is there a part of you, because you'll probably be able to feel it more as a fan than me as an onlooker, do you feel that there's the kind of proof Arteta doesn't even feel like he's that guy himself yet? Because, you know, like a manager who's worried about his own reputation, always just, you're the best player, so you got to play. He's not willing to take that risk or that rotation or let a player play who's not necessarily the big name, but he might be doing well in training. Or is that a little sign, you think, maybe of Arteta kind of admitting without it that he's not that Guardiola where he'll bring on that kid and give him a chance and he's not bothered about his star player being missing?
I think it's two things. I think there's doubt in his ability. There's doubt in the players on the bench's ability, because he knows that Reece Nelson is not Saka, and he's worried to try something different there. This is why I've mentioned potentially trying something different as a plan B, by putting Gabby Jesus out wide and trying Kai Havertz through the middle, or trying Trossard through a false nine position. Something like that might be, I would have thought, in his locker to try. He doesn't. He just seems against it, man. And I'll finish by saying this. If this continues, Saka will be done at the age of 26, 27.
Yeah.
Was he 22 at the moment? Isn't he?
Just turned.
Yeah. And that'll be a pretty scary thing to think about, being that young and being burnt out. Michael Owen, Wayne Rooney.
Yep.
There's quite a lot of players that they do come into that. You know what I mean? Yeah, the evidence is there. I mean, maybe Sturridge wasn't necessarily rinsed, but his injuries really started to catch up with him by the time he was about 25, 26.
I do. I'll be honest with you. I have that worry in the back of my mind for Trent as well.
Yeah,
Trent
that we play him a lot. Yeah, from the age of 18, Trent has just been a first-team player week in, week out. Yeah, it's true. I think it might be a little bit easier for a player like Trent to deal with burnout based on his ability to use the ball. Saka's all about explosiveness. If he loses explosiveness, then he loses what makes him him, innit?
And also, Saka gets absolutely bashed and battered around as well, man. Yeah. Like, he gets teamed up, double teamed up. Fair play, because that's how you got to play against him, right? Because he's that good. But when you look at it, you think, oh man, this kid, if it carries on, he ain't gonna last long, man. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope it gets to a stage where we start to get that guy in. You know, I'm looking at the last couple of windows. I'm thinking, oh, still no Pedro Neto coming in, still no. You know, like Michael Elise potentially, or somebody coming, whoever, you give me know the names, somebody that's going to come in and actually give some competition instead of Reece Nelson, who we clearly don't trust. It's just worrying for the lad, man. He's playing all the time, man. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you do have a good example in Sterling, who's been rinsed since he was 17 and he's still going.
Yeah, true.
10, 11 years later.
You say that. Chelsea fans with Sterling at the moment, they are not happy with him at all.
No, but that's form, Cal. He's still got all the physical attributes. He's still quick. He's still, do you get what I mean? Like, he hasn't lost anything. His form's horrible, but he hasn't lost anything. Like, I see Sterling still burning players, and do you know what I mean? Like, and he's been doing it. We put him through at 17, you know. He's been in the game a long time, Sterling. It's crazy, man. 10, 11 years in the game, man. It's mad. And our front three, Cal. Now, there was some news. I don't know what to believe. Is Klopp playing mind games with
Darwin should be fine for the game. Whether he starts or not, that's the thing. But he should be fine for the game. I'm pulling my hair out thinking, because here's the thing. I rate Saliba highly, and I rate the partnership he has with Gabriel. But you also know Jota's, who I think is our best striker. The only thing is, if there's ever a pairing in the league that can shut down a striker, it is that pairing. Even though I don't like doing it, I am tempted to play Núñez down the middle and Jota on the left for this game, just because I feel Núñez could be potentially better at occupying those two, which will leave Jota with a bit more space. I think right wing, I'd go Luis Diaz just for balance. I think Gakpo's still a bit out of form for me, and again, I don't want. I know people are going to come for me in the comment section, so I just keep it real and I just won't read the comments, and then I'll bury my head in the sand. I watched Gakpo playing the league game against Arsenal, and he looked like a boy against men. Like, I was seeing Saliba and Gabriel just barging him about and muscling them off the ball, and they weren't worried about any threat there. We all know Gakpo's got excellent technical ability, but when it comes to these games where it can be a bit rough and a bit physical and a bit quick, I think sometimes he can be found wanting, So I'd go Diaz right wing. I'm gonna say Jota and Nunes to just swap positions, pause, and then just go through it that way. But I do think that's the front three that has to start, and I think that's the front three that gives us the best chance of winning this game.
I mean, just to throw my 2 pence in what you were saying, I agree with you, but I'd flip it the other way though. I want the naturalness of Diaz to just continue to do what he does left.
And Jota on the
And
right.
I want Jota to go right because he does play well there.
Zinchenko as well. He's got space with Zinchenko inverted.
He's very good on his left foot, so we don't have to think if he comes inside, then it means that there's an issue with the finishing. Do you know what I mean? And Zinchenko, I mean, Diaz could cook Zinchenko, but the movement of Jota will just baffle the hell out of Zinchenko. I think that's the thing Zinchenko hates the most is the movement. Do you get what I mean? And I think Jota's movement.
50 Linders from now on. I'll hold my hands up.
So yeah, I'd go Jota from the right. But you're right. I think those three are the ones that have to start. And then if we're winning the game, God's willing, Gakpo can come in and help to maintain the possession, drop in, become an extra midfielder, and see the game out. Do you know what I mean? Which would be, and Gravenberch as well can come on, keep possession. We got players on. Hopefully, that's if we're winning. If we're losing, we might be in a bit of bother because we won't have much that can come off the bench and actually make an impact. Yeah. But if we're winning, then do you know what I mean? That could be the case. So there we have it, people. There's the starting lineups from both teams. There's nothing really left to do but to do the score prediction now. Actually, hold on a minute. We've got a super here. Big up Johnny B. Red says, great guest. Big up Dan. Respect Carlton Drift. Big up yourself, John, man.
Big up, man. Just quick drift on the team for Liverpool, right? I was thinking because I was asked this earlier about, I didn't know about this Darwin Nunez thing and how true it is about him. But people are saying he's fit, right? But you're talking about Conor Bradley and Trent, and I'm just thinking like Trent he gives Zinchenko a nightmare for me, right? And potentially Martinelli could give Trent a nightmare. Would Conor Bradley be able to go in at right and then Trent play right wing? Or is that just not something that you would even consider? Because I'm looking at it thinking if you played Darwin Nunez and Jota and then you brought Diaz and Gakpo on, because Diaz, I mean, he's found his shooting boots the last couple of games, but he ain't been phenomenal this season for me. I think Darwin Nunez has to play if he's fit because he causes absolute havoc. And I think Jota's an absolute killer in the box. So for me, I'd probably look, if I was to want Liverpool to set up, if I was not to want Liverpool to set up, if you was to actually start with Nunez left, Jota in the middle, killing everything that comes to him, and then maybe Trent right wing, that might be pretty scary. I just don't know if Trent as a right winger in that right forward thing would be something that you would try, or something that you've ever tried. I don't know. I'm talking from as an Arsenal fan and not as a Liverpool fan. So. Dan,
I'm going to throw in a training top for you as well, yeah?
So,
I don't know. It might not work.
So, Cal, would you? Because we've never done it, but would you? Would you consider playing Trent at right wing?
After the way Dan just explained it, it kind of makes sense. I would try it. You could even go the other way around. You could go Bradley right wing because I feel Bradley's a bit more direct.
Well, he's a wing back naturally, isn't he, Bradley? He's not actually a right back by nature. He's actually a wing back by nature, which means he is a bit more offensively.
I think so. Even I probably would still go with either Jota or Diaz to start, but I think it makes sense as well what Dan was saying. Like it does make sense because, again, from a delivery standpoint as well, like we all know Trent's on the money when it comes to delivery as well. Jota and Nunes attacking the ball in the box could be crazy for Arsenal.
I would big up Kojo. He's saying he thinks that he might play right wing next season.
Who's that? Trent or Bradley?
Trent or Bradley, Kojo. Which one of the two?
I'm hoping it's the Lise next season or Kubo or
no, Eze. It needs to be Eze, bro.
But anyone.
I personally believe if we're gonna do similar to what Dan is saying, I would prefer Trent went right 8 and Szoboszlai went right wing. If you were going to do that, because I think Szoboszlai's got the pace to. It's not Trent isn't slow, but I don't think Trent would probably beat Zinchenko with skill rather than he would with pace. Whereas I think Szoboszlai could beat Zinchenko for pace, so that means he could keep making them runs in behind, and do you know what I mean, and cause him problems in that way. So would you not think it would be a little bit more? Everybody's a bit more natural to their role if Trent went mid and then Szoboszlai went right wing instead.
Yeah, could absolutely do that as well. Absolutely,
which is what we thought would happen, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was just thinking because Conor Bradley come on in the FA Cup game, correct?
Yeah.
In the Emirates, and he was quality. Like I didn't know the kid. I thought I was calling him Bradley for ages, thinking that was his first name. I didn't even know who the kid was, right? Because you brought on someone. I said it and everyone laughed. I was on a Liverpool channel and I said, "Didn't you bring on Bobby Bradley?" And they were like, "No, we brought on Bobby someone and Bradley someone." I was like, well,
Yeah, Bobby Clark.
That's it. Bobby Clark, that's right. Yeah, Bobby Clark and Conor Bradley. I didn't know they were, and I was on some rant about how shit we were, and I was like, and they brought on Bobby Bradley and still beat us, or whatever the fuck. But he came on and he was defensively one-on-one very good against Martinelli. And I'm feeling like at the Emirates, Trent hasn't been over the years. Now, it might change because Martinelli's not exactly been doing bits, right? But of late. But I do feel personally like that could be quite scary. If Conor Bradley is doing that good as we're saying he is, because he has been, if you keep him at right back and then allow him to deal with Martinelli and then have Trent going bombing forward, that sounds like a better option than trying to ask Conor Bradley to bomb it forward and ask Trent to try and defend against Martinelli. That's the way round I see it in my head. But if you're saying it work out a better way, you watch more than me. But that was all I was thinking. If there's a right wing issue without Salah, could Trent be that guy? And then, until he comes back, that's all I'm thinking, man.
Yeah, the crazy thing is, Dan, I wouldn't even call it an issue because when you look at the numbers, I think this off the top of my head, Cal, because you read them out before, is Gakpo's got 1 goal and an assist since Salah's gone. Diaz has got 4 goals and 1 assist since Salah's gone. Jota's got 5 goals and 1 assist since Salah's gone. And Nunes has got
for Jota.
Okay, and Nunes has got 3 goals and 3 assists. So we've actually been doing well.
Yeah, I think it might be 3 goals, 4 assists for Nunes.
Oh, is it 4? Oh, yes, because he got the assist against against Chelsea. So the front line, Dan, apart from Gakpo, has pretty much stepped up without him. So it's not even really an issue as such. It's just more. The thing is, I love our fluidity with our front. I've actually watched the time when every player is dragged out wide. Nunes has dragged out wide, and Diaz has gone down the middle. Diaz has gone to the right, and Jota's gone to the left. Jota's gone down the centre. Nunes has gone to the left. Klopp's actually just got a really beautiful, fluid, flowing system with those 3 that they kind of just changed during the game, to be honest with you. So we have to do this for what we do, fixed position, where's he going to be? But really, throughout the game, they do actually kind of fluidly change depending on who's up against. If he's not getting any change out of Zinchenko, you swap, you go over there, let him go over, let him see. Like, we kind of been doing it a bit like that. So it could be anybody, to be honest, that goes up at any given time. So yes, I think Trent right wing's the only thing we haven't tried. That probably is the only thing. And he's been injured, to be fair, while Mo's been away anyway. So there wasn't a way to do it. So yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, predictions, boys. Home team first. Dan, what's your prediction for the game, bro?
Yeah, man. Listen, well, first of all, I'm looking forward to it because I think it'll be a great football game. I feel like it's going to be on as even 2-2. I've gone. I feel like there's going to be goals. We never keep clean sheets at the Emirates. We definitely don't keep clean sheets against Liverpool. So yeah, I'm going to go 2-2. I feel like both teams will cancel each other out for 3 points. I don't think that's good enough for Arsenal in terms of their title push. I feel like even a draw, people will probably look at us and go, nah, it ain't going to happen for them this season. But I don't think we're going to beat her. So, yeah, man, I'm going to go 2-2.
Dan's got my score. That's what I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a high-scoring draw. Yeah, I think it's going to be 2-2. I do. Cal?
I'm going to stick with it. I'm going 3-2 Liverpool. I don't see a world where we don't concede in this game against Arsenal at the Emirates. I do think we have 3 goals in us, though. And I'm going 3-2. It's going to be a very tense game, though. I'll go on record and say I think this game away from home and Man City away from home are the 2 hardest games in the league, barring Anfield away.
Yeah. I mean, Tottenham away is kind of seeming to be a very difficult.
Yeah, when the referee and VAR's on your side.
No, just mean generally speaking, they are a pretty good team at home, to be fair.
Yeah, but last season, wasn't it? Last season, Arsenal beat them 2-0. Did we beat them last season at their place? I feel like we might have.
No, I think we drew with them at their.
I don't. We've all just.
No, they beat us at their ground last season. I think.
Did they?
I don't. We beat them at home. They beat us.
We beat them 4-3 at home. With all due respect to them, I don't think they're on Arsenal and City and Liverpool's level when it comes to.
No, not as a team. I'm just talking home record. Even Villa, you got to put in there for home record. Villa been absolute. Apart from the other day, they won every game at home.
But that's what I'm saying. I think you can get Villa. I don't. When I look through the rest of the season this season, I know we still got to go to Villa. We still got to go United and Arsenal away and Man City away are the 2 games where I look at and I go, can we just press fast forward and see what the results?
Same as me, man. Same as me. Man City, like Anfield for me is the hard. I hate going there, man. I just don't go there anymore. And yeah, and the Etihad as well. They're the 2 for me. So I've seen us over the years hold so many, man. Hold 4s, 5s, even 6s once against Man City. I think we lost 6-3 or something crazy. So I'm just like, I hate going there, man. Old Trafford's never pleasant, but that's more over the years of the Fergie and Wenger years. But for me, yeah, they're the 2 away grounds I can't stand going to. Spurs is always hard wherever they play, whether it's this ground, their old ground, just because of Arsenal-Spurs rivalry. Yeah. But in terms of the ones that I would say I really don't want to put my house on us winning here, it would be Anfield and the Etihad, man.
I mean, what's crazy is, and this was quite a shock to me, because I was watching Robbie's video the other day, the chicken shop, which is hilarious because watching people, Dan, crazy,
God, mate. I'll tell you, man. I did that. I don't know if you saw the one I was on with Turkey.
Yeah. I know, bro. It was crazy.
Man, I was dying, man. That whole volcano sauce is the hottest stuff, mate. Honestly, they're now selling it in the shop as well because people have come in and said, "Can we have some? Can we try some?" It is so
people
hot,
are glutton for punishment, bro.
Mate,
I don't know.
horrendous.
But I watched today's one with
Cecil and Ashton from JLS. Yeah.
And what was hilarious is that I got educated during it. So I didn't know this, but Liverpool have actually won 22 times in the Premier League against Arsenal, and they've only beat us 15, Cal. I was really shocked with that. I would have thought from the Wenger days, I would have thought Arsenal would have beaten us a lot more than that.
We go through long periods where they don't beat us. So if I'm not mistaken, Dan, you might correct me on this one. You beat us last season, but that was like the first time in like 11 or 12 games or something like that. It was a long period.
It was, mate. We haven't beaten you at Anfield since 2012. You know that?
Yeah, Podolski and Cazorla.
That's it. Crazy.
That was the game Abu Dhabi played, and I still maintain to this day the best individual.
Insanely good.
Yeah.
That was incredible. What a talent he would have been if he would have. Another one. He's another party, mate. Just injured all the time. But that is a scary record, man. To think like Liverpool have been, without being too disrespectful, they've probably been in turmoil for the majority of my time growing up. And I don't mean like you were down in the dumps, but we know. Couldn't quite get to our level at Fergie and Wenger times, right? But I look at the record and I think, wow, how have you beaten us that many times then if it was that long that we were ahead of you for?
Yeah, it's crazy. I remember
that's what surprised me. Dan, that's why I was so surprised, because you look at the Wenger era and I'm thinking, I thought Arsenal would have beaten us way more than that. Do you know what I mean?
Like even back in the day, like McManaman, when we beat them like 2-1 at Highbury, McManaman scored the wonder goal and Fowler got the dubious penalty.
Oh yeah.
The game where TT Kamara scored to win 1-0. Like even when they were winning, like we still would nick results.
I remember what was the kid's name who scored in 2005, last minute winner?
Neil Mellor.
Neil Mellor. Yeah.
What a game that was. That was a brilliant game.
Mad game, that one. Yeah.
Vieira scored a beautiful team goal in that game.
That was an insane goal, that was. Yeah.
All the goals in that game were sick, because Xabi Alonso's goal was good. Then Vieira scored a good goal. Then Mellor hit that worldie. That was a good game.
Yeah, but I remember a lot of draws though, man. A lot of draws. I remember a 3-3. I remember a 4-4 with Arshavin. Do you know what I mean? There's been some great games.
That cost us the league, you know.
That broke my heart, that game.
And because we were supposed to get Arshavin as well, it made it even worse. It was like, oh my,
that was insane. That was, man.
Crazy. Yeah. No, it's mad. It's mad. But there you have it, Dan. It's been an absolute pleasure, brother.
Legend, bro.
Thanks for coming on. We'll have to definitely do this again. Do you know what I mean? And as I said, as always, I wish you luck in all aspects of everything except for Sunday. That's it, bruv. Everything else, but just Sunday. Just let us get the 3 points. Let us go in our title merry way.
Well, listen, I'll tell you this now. If you do beat us, I hope you win the league, man. Because someone's got to knock City off, man. It's getting silly. I hope you do it. And I think I was with Sam the other day, and he was like, "Do you know what? If whoever wins this game, I hope whoever does it goes and wins the league because I don't want Man City winning it." And I thought, "Do you know what? Fair play. I'm the same." I think it would be great for Jurgen Klopp as well, man. Obviously, because man, 8 years is scary. That was mental news when I heard that.
Yeah.
Literally, it's unbelievable. So I don't know if there's anything we're doing about it, by the way, because Arsenal have got this little touch of class about them sometimes, where they do some respectful thing. It'll be the last time he ever comes to the Emirates. So I don't know if there's some form of. I mean, the fans will give him a great applause, I'm sure, but don't be surprised if Arsenal don't do something, man, because they're good like that. They're good like that.
I mean, just quickly, how did you feel about the Klopp news? Because I haven't spoken to you about it.
I mean, yeah, really shocked, man. Strange timing, I thought. I understood the interview when I listened to it again. I thought it was a bit of a strange thing to say, to be honest. He's making me like.
This is how I feel. I'm conflicted now.
No, it's real.
I'm
always said it.
conflicted now. I'm conflicted.
Yeah. If Turkish and Dan were all Arsenal fans, I would be behind Arsenal all the
same.
time. Like I literally would be. It's like, why have I got to know the ones that are just horrible, always chatting shit? Do you know what I mean? It's just like, it's crazy.
Oh, man, it's crazy. And do you know what? The ones you're talking about are probably the same ones that give me shit in my channel. I get more shit from Arsenal fans than like neutral fans. I tell you, it's a scary place out there, man. But listen, it's crazy. But yeah, I was shocked by it, mate. I really was. And I got a lot of kind of people tried to give it to me because I was kind of comparing Klopp and Wenger, and I'd kind of given it to Klopp for the pure fact that what he's won is pretty much everything in football, whereas Arsene Wenger, I think in Premier League is probably better if you look at how he's changed football in the Premier League and the longevity of it and stuff. But if you look at the actual management of what he's done at Mainz, Dortmund and now Liverpool, I'd probably say he was better than Wenger in terms of what he's won and how he's competed with, for me, the best manager ever. But when I look at it, it was crazy for me. I just didn't expect it. It was a real shock. And I would be slightly concerned as a Liverpool fan now to the unknown. Like, where is it going to be? He has managed to get you close to Pep Guardiola. You're not going to have that anymore. Are you going to be able to get someone in to get as close to Pep Guardiola as Klopp? I'm not so sure there is one out there, if I'm honest. If it's Xabi Alonso, I think that would be fairly risky, but a guy that is doing very well. De Zerbi, I would stay clear of personally. I think that would be a very, very similar project management. I would, man. I would.
I've been getting stick from the people for not wanting De Zerbi, but yeah,
I like his football, but I don't get this whole obsession with him, man. If I'm honest, I think he's all right. I don't really get this this guy's going to be
the flavour of the month, Dan. That's all.
Yeah,
it's
weird, man. I've seen what happened with Potter when he went to Chelsea. Do you know what I mean? And he's no longer the flavour of the month. I wonder if it'd be similar to that if he went to Liverpool. Maybe not. I don't know. It's different circumstances at Chelsea. It's a poison chalice. But for me, I feel when you're trying to replace Jurgen Klopp, that's a big thing. And we've had it with Arsene Wenger. Man United have had it with Ferguson. It's going to be difficult, man. Big up, my bro. You can go on my Christmas card list as well, coach.
I'm about to part ways with my
shirt, a Christmas card. I'll come on here again, man. Do you know what I'm saying?
Hey, Dan, serious question, Dad.
Yeah, go on.
How loyal are you to Arsenal, really?
Give me one of those shirts.
We'll still be playing in red, bro. It won't even feel that different, bro. We got white on the collar. It won't even feel that different.
We'll buy out the season ticket, bro. We'll buy it out.
Yeah, man. Listen, I must say, I'd probably take your last decade to my last 2 decades, mate, the way that you've won trophies and competed. But listen, I love my football club, but I can't stand my fan base, if I'm honest with you, mate. That's where I'm at. My fan base are a joke. And not all of them. There's a section of them that are very crazy. And they seem to be, if you want to win stuff, you're toxic and negative. Do you know what I mean? Just back the manager, keep the phases going, keep the processes, buy a dog and call it win, all this crap. I'm sick of it. I don't want all that crap. You know what I mean? I want to win trophies. I don't want to win that's called a dog that's called win. I want a trophy. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
or maybe if we don't buy one of them, maybe we'll actually buy a fucking budgie and call it trophy next. Do you know what I mean? It's just insane, bro, how we work. The PR, Arsenal, we're elite. We're like Champions League level for PR. When it comes to actually winning trophies, I'm just sick of being 2 decades without a title, 3 decades without a European trophy and a League Cup. And luckily, yeah, I'll never ever slag off FA Cups. We've got 14 of them. It's our trophy, right? When you look at it, I'm like, come on, man, we need a bit more than that now. And I feel personally like this fan base have kind of been a little bit brainwashed. I get quite a lot of someone in my chat earlier saying, "What, you'd sack Arteta if he kept us in the top four?" Yeah, I would, man, because top four isn't a trophy, but they've grown up, they're like 18, 19 years old, and Wenger's told them that top four is a trophy and it's a great achievement. So they think that fourth is brilliant. Like, I didn't grow up on fourth, man. I'll come out of mourning in 2003 from Highbury when we threw it away because we were second. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't get fourth and start running around the roundabouts in Islington. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't do anything for me, bruv. It doesn't do anything for me, man. So when I look at what Liverpool are doing and I look at how you're winning trophies and I look at you this season going for all 4 trophies, I'm jealous of that, man. We're all going a better, bigger fish to fry. Don't need a Carabao Cup or FA Cup. We're going for the title. This is about. I think, well, go and win it then. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. But listen, I always back the team. I always say, I get behind him, back the team. What do you think I do every week, man? I go every single game. Do you know what I mean? What do you want me to do? It's mad. So I want to see us winning something, mate. And I feel personally, if we don't win something this year, there needs to be justification as to why we haven't won that. So, for example, we get to the Champions League final and we lose to Real Madrid and we take City and Liverpool to the last game of the season and one of you pip us. I'll say, do you know what? Yeah, he nearly got there, you know. Yeah, he might be a nearly man, but it'd be harsh to sack him on literally 2 games. But if we go out to Porto, we finish 4th. You really think I'm going to want to keep this manager? Like, come on, man, raise the standards and get someone who can actually win. Like, go and have a CV that says I win things, not a CV that says I buy dogs and do phases. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the way I see it, man. Like, it's just crazy.
No, Daniel, a legend.
Nah, you're a legend, bro. And I do find it a little bit weird with Arteta. He done brilliantly last season, but the turnaround is sensational. He went from being the number 1 get him out guy to now you can't say a bad word about him, and it's crazy, isn't it? 2 years ago, Arteta couldn't buy a person to support him. Now. You know what I mean? Like you said, you're public enemy number 1 if you say anything negative about him. I don't know how he did it, but he's a genius.
What's weird though is this. Yeah, it is mad. But what's weird is we went, and it wasn't long ago, we were down Hornsey Road with banners trying to get Wenger out for coming second to Leicester. This guy gets 8th and 5th, and we're going, this guy needs time. What the hell is going on? That to me is mad. And like, if it was just about top 4, what the hell did we sack Wenger for? He got it 22 years in a row. So I don't know, man. Like, I just find it a little bit strange. And for me, I've always, and people might think I'm spoiled. I was born in 87. I grew up, we had 89, 91, 93, 94, 90, 97, 98 double winning season when Wenger come in. Yeah. And from there, it was pretty much doubles and titles and FA Cups. And then we moved to this stadium. And everyone started to become a little bit more, oh, this is more touristy. This is more money now. This is more this. Top 4 is a trophy. Top 4 is this. I understand Chelsea and City had come in at that point. But I never, ever, ever left Highbury saying, can't beat Man United. I just want a treble. I never left Highbury in 2000 going, oh, second will be good, boys. Because, don't worry about first. Alex Ferguson's here. I ain't going to do that. But now we're like, try and get second, yeah, because Pep Guardiola's here and Man City just want a treble, and we can't do that, man. Look, we ain't going to be able to compete. I never did that in 2000. But the fans now, because they've grown up on top 4, you see Arsenal might get top 4 this year. And I've had people come up to me like that, and I go, do you think that's good then, dear? Is that a good thing? Like, for me, that means we've got 3 teams ahead of us. Like, what does it mean to you then? They had a good, it's a brilliant season. Back in the Champions League. Oh my God, man, honestly, it's mad. But this is how people grew up differently to me. It's not their fault. They grew up on a different era of football to me. So perhaps I'm spoilt with it, but I've always been about trying to win shit. And there's not enough of that at Arsenal, in my opinion, anymore.
I hear that. And yeah, we want to know as well, Ro, what's Dan's buyout clause? Because
we'll pay it.
We'll pay it. But no, it's been an absolute pleasure, bro.
Thank you so much, Dan, bro.
We'll definitely, obviously, do this again. Please. You know what I mean? Let the people know where they can find you as well, bro, if they don't already know.
Nice one, man. Listen, honestly, appreciate you both having me on, really do. And make sure you like and subscribe and follow these guys, man. Putting out great content. If you do want to come follow me, there's my Twitter handle. It's DanArsenal87. I'm on TikTok and Instagram and all that malarkey now as well. And if you want to come and follow me on YouTube, then it's Football's 12th Man. So Football 12 Man podcast, come join that, and you'll know a lot of people on there. Trust me. So yeah, thanks, boys. Appreciate it.
No, thank you.
Yeah,
Man.
no, thank you, man. Thank you. Cal, anything you want to say before we take the people out, bro?
No, we'll see you guys on Sunday, people.
Sunday, yeah. And just in case anyone hasn't seen it, if you want to see a tactical breakdown, I did a brilliant show earlier in the day with James. So that should be, scroll down on the channel, you see that somewhere. We had a really good talk. Actually, I'm going to put the link at the end of this video to that one. James knows tactics like the back of his hand, so we had a great chat about that as well. So yeah, make sure you go and check that out, guys. Until Sunday, I'm nervous about this one, I can't lie. I'm nervous, but we move. People, we'll see you on the other side, man. Peace.